Masks of Gnarltep is set in the 1920s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend, we merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to the Nerds Domain presents Masks of Gnarltep. Join us each week as our investigators follow a path of clues and attempt to save the world from an ancient evil. Starring John Quiet, Justin Kimmett, Shirley Nedswicki, George Chipples, Jason Hall, and Scott Troiano, with me, Matt Quiet, running the table as the Keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi everybody, we're just getting ready to get started. At the table I am joined by Shirley, say hi.
Hello.
Scott.
Hello.
George.
Howdy.
John.
Hi.
Jason.
Hello.
Justin.
Hi.
And I'm Matt. I'll be running the game and the table. So we're starting our first adventure here tonight. George is playing Courtney Hathaway Weld. He's actually going to be the focus for here for a few minutes. While he's talking to the people that he's contacting, I'm going to pass around some handouts for everybody to read over. This is information that they would have. That actually goes to you, George. This is information they would have about the Carlisle expedition. Keep in mind, guys, to read them in order. It says Gnarltep papers 2, 3, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're in chronological order. So we'll start here, and then you just pass them around as you go. So, George, are you about ready?
Sure.
Okay. So start where you want to start, and we'll go from there.
All right, we'll start with the top. And so, I've been in Boston for a while, and I would like to meet with my good friend who served under me in the Great War. Goes by the name of Ian Byrne. And he's done some work for me as a private investigator, and I would need to employ him again, so I'd probably call up, send a messenger to your office with a letter saying, setting up an appointment at a local speakeasy to have some drinks and discuss some business.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And this would be January, probably 13th, 1925.
Okay. As we all write it down. Yeah. Okay, so at the speakeasy. You'd find I'd probably be already there at the bar. I'm dressed as I usually am, which is to say, like someone cosplaying as Fu Manchu, with my hair slicked back, and I've got a ridiculous mustache and Mandarin jacket and silks, and I look pretty stupid. But that's how I dress. That's how I am now. This is me. This is Courtney Hathaway Weld of the Cambridge Welds.
You will most likely find Burns sitting with his back as far back into the room as possible, facing the door. No surprises. And when you enter the room, he gestures to you. Court, how's it going?
I'll come over. Mr. Burns, good to see you.
You too.
What's your poison? I'm buying.
Whiskey sounds good.
Whiskey! I hold up 2 fingers to the bartender and I'll have mine with soda, please.
He looks at both of you and kind of nods his head and looks back at Byrne for a minute to kind of get the, and then he goes back to filling up.
I give the he's okay. He's with me.
So he fills up your drinks and brings them over shortly.
I'm probably not a cop. So, well, Mr. Byrne, I think I have need of you once again.
Well, I'm currently lacking in the cases right now, so give me the details and I'll see if I can be of assistance.
Well, what have you heard? Do you know of this man, Jackson Lies? He's made a little bit of a name for himself in the occult circles and anthropological academic arenas.
Yeah, that's probably no. That name, I don't get the society pages all that often.
Yeah, but you haven't read The Way of Terror?
No.
No?
No, I haven't.
It's a good read. I think you might want to check it out.
Okay.
It's
I'll
about
take that under advisement.
The religious cults and the way that rule through terror and fear and spread their bloodshed. But in any event, this is not of interest to you. So, Jackson Elias is a friend of mine. He's a writer. He's involved in some interesting things. But he has come to me recently and said there's a socialite in New York that he was unclear of whether it was a companion, an acquaintance, but has gone missing. And he knows that I know people, and I know that you know people. And so I think perhaps that we might want to help him out. And I, of course, would pay for your services and whatever other retainers you might decide should accompany us.
Okay, well, what do we think happened exactly?
I don't know the particulars. Mr. Elias merely contacted me and said he had need of help, and so I haven't been able to get exactly what has happened beyond the fact that there's been a disappearance. And I don't know whether that has anything to do with the subjects that Mr. Elias writes about. I certainly hope not. I would not want to be involved in any cultish activities. But I think that what it would require of us is to first go to New York and speak with Mr. Elias, and then we will find out more reasonable things from there. But he sounded quite frenzied. I've received several telegrams, and he's in a bit of a tizzy about it.
I see. Well, I do have a partner in the business, Ichabod, Mr. Botticelli.
In Italian?
I'm not sure how long his family's been in the States, but yes. We've never actually talked about that, oddly enough. And then I suppose I sort of owe a favor to another enterprising young person. This person would be interested in also taking on a consultant role, if you don't mind. My current fee is $30 a day for myself, and then $20 more per consultant, plus any expenses.
Of course.
That'll work.
Everything will be taken care of.
Then I will. When do you want to meet again?
And so when would I want to... Would we go to New York?
Elias, if you're looking at the telegraph you've got there, it says, have information concerning Carlisle expedition. Stop. Need reliable investigation team. Stop. Arrive January 15th. Stop. Signed, Jackson Elias.
Yes. I think it would be best if we were to head out there immediately. I believe Mr. Elias would like us to arrive January 15th, but perhaps we could catch the train tomorrow and find a hotel to set up a base early.
Well, last I spoke, my associates are free, so I will attempt to... I'll get a message to you later tonight. Give me your hotel information, and I'll send word.
Wonderful. I'll book us rooms at the Ritz.
At least 2.
Yes.
For my associates.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, I'll drink my whiskey and chit-chat, and then head off and reserve rooms at the Ritz-Carlton for...
You guys spend probably another 25 minutes just talking about the time since the war and catching up. And then he leaves. The bartender kind of looks at you again and says, be a little more careful. It doesn't seem all above board. Or below board. I guess we went below board here. So.
The war was not kind.
And he, sends you out and you guys make your way.
Okay. So next on my appointment list would be Professor Alexander Wentworth.
Are you going to Harvard to meet with him?
Yes.
Okay.
Who was a professor of mine when I attended Harvard before I left to go serve in the war. And you're a professor of anthropology, correct?
Yep.
Yes, that's what I thought. So I was one of your students.
And archaeology.
Yes. And I don't think I was an anthro major. I took some classes. I don't know if I ever declared a major. Probably not.
You're burned, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would probably come to... I imagine you'd be in your office?
Grading papers.
Grading papers? I would walk up, knock on the door. Hello, Professor Wentworth.
Hello, Byrne. What can I do for you?
Oh, no, I'm Weld.
Oh,
He's
sorry.
Byrne.
My bad. Hello, Weld. What can I do for you?
Good to see you. It's a fine day, yes, Professor?
I wouldn't know. I haven't been outside.
Well, why would you? Tell me, do you know of Jackson Elias?
You're
Yes.
vaguely familiar with him.
I couldn't really tell you anything about him, but yes, the name sounds familiar.
Well, perhaps if you could be willing to venture outside, we might be able to find something interesting for you to maybe get some blood pumping back in those old bones of yours. Yes, Professor?
Well, it's possible. Anything to get me away from my rather erstwhile student.
Well, students are very terrible. So how about we take a trip to New York and go look for some missing persons and help Mr. Elias out with a small undertaking? Could be fun.
Alright, very well.
Excellent. That was easy. Shuffle out.
Hey, one of my favorite students, aren't you?
Yes. That was a good student. And then I will ring up the captain. Captain Wilkerson. Yes?
And yes, and the captain is actually already in New York, so you could meet him there, or...
Yeah, let's meet him there. Okay. Have everyone come along.
So, the three of you travel, you two, by train to New York. It's the best way to travel at the time. You find rooms at the Ritz-Carlton, like you were speaking of. You visit your office. I assume you went up to Boston to meet the guy that's going to pay you lots of money. Makes sense. You spend your time going back and forth between the office and the hotel, preparing for what you need, getting information about Jackson Elias, I assume, since you have a name now. You've got a couple of days. Do you have anything else you wanted to do during those couple of days?
Specifically, I don't. I mean, I would want to do as much research and get as much public information about Elias as possible. And
Jackson Elias is an author. He has written 7 books in the last 15 years, all of them about cults, but mostly like they're more cultural based than like, ooh, this magic-y scary thing here. It's more about the culture that the cults have and what it's all about.
So the society
Yeah.
of the cults, not
Yeah.
the...
Not the occult issues. He does touch on those as he sees them, but he doesn't dive too terribly deep into them. Other than that, he's published through... I'm not seeing that right here, but that's okay. He is originally from Stratford, Connecticut, and he is an orphan. He has published...
I've got the books in front of me. If you
I'm just looking for the name of the publisher. I don't know why I can't find it.
Prospero Press.
There you go. It's a smallish publishing company in New York. It's popular enough that it stays open and employs a couple of people. Not a whole lot, but you've heard good things about the editor there. I mean, he's a friendly guy. Like, as you look into it, I assume you ask around, right?
Well, I'm really just more interested in Elias, the guy who's technically hiring me.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean,
Okay.
you just know he writes books and he Prospero Press in Connecticut. So
do we need to have a scene where...
yeah, that's where we're going next.
Okay.
Anything else you wanted before we do that?
I'm going to travel heavy, by the way. Like lots of books and papers and all.
Oh, of course, yeah. So, go ahead.
All right. So, evening the day after my meeting with Weld.
So the evening of the 14th?
Yeah.
Okay.
To be specific. I've put in a phone call to Ichabod Botticelli and Eve McCree to make sure that they know to be at the office. There's a job.
Does it pay?
Yes. I got our standard fee.
All right.
So it's $30 and then an additional $20 for you. And I sort of owe Eve for that last thing that happened, so I'm bringing her along too.
Okay.
Look at it this way: it'll give us a chance to pad the expense account a little bit.
Nah.
You know.
Good.
No
It'll keep me
offense.
away from the seances also. So.
But that's another thing. Apparently, this might actually be in your wheelhouse, as it were. The guy hiring us likes the religious cult stuff. And
Oh, really?
He's written several books about it.
What's his name?
Elias?
Jackson Elias.
Jackson Elias.
Jackson Elias. Yeah, I've read a couple of his books.
Well,
I actually have a chance to meet the man.
he's engaged our employer to find some missing socialites from New York.
Mm-hmm.
A Carlisle.
Yes.
Roger Carlisle has gone missing. And
Oh, I've read about that in the papers.
Well, there you go. I've apparently been a little too busy on the train. I haven't caught up. If you could hand those over when you find them again, that would be appreciated. And so Jackson Elias wants to find Roger Carlisle, and he has arranged for my old lieutenant Courtney Hathaway Weld to bring us in on the case.
Okay. Sounds like a job. Like I said, I'll contact the people who have employed me for other things and tell them that they will have to hold.
Oh, did you have a case? I apologize.
Not so much a case as a talking. And I'm sure the
one
dead
of those,
can wait.
Yeah, it's
it's one of those.
Eve, so you've been quiet. Are you in?
I didn't know I was in the room. I thought you were gonna send for me.
I was having a conversation with the two of you.
Oh,
So
you were
yes.
there?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. I don't know how much
Sounds good to me.
shooting there will be, so for the time being, just don't kill anybody, okay?
Well, if there ain't no shooting, what's the use of me going?
Do you want the money?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Then just, keep the gun holstered until I say otherwise, would you?
Yes, sir. Wouldn't want you to not pad your account.
Very well then.
Okay. So, you find your way back over to the Ritz. You've got a room. So, and then you make your way to meet Mr. Captain Wilkerson.
I would invite him to maybe meet all of us at the tea room, perhaps, or for dinner. We'd all have dinner together, I would suggest. And when Mr. Wentworth and Wilkerson were there, I'd say, there's actually one other individual that I thought would be good to invite to our guest company. He's a fine son of Albion. I met him during the war. If you remember Captain Wilkerson, Mr. Byrne. Do you remember him? I don't know if you met him.
The name sounds familiar. I'm sure you've talked about
You've
it.
seen him, but you've never been close enough.
Right.
He's Captain Wilkerson.
Right. Yeah. A little above my...
Of His
grade.
Majesty's.
Well, he's a fine fellow, a tough bravo and a scrap, and a big game hunter, and I think he might be good should we encounter any sort of undesirables. So I've invited him to accompany us, and I would have called you up and said, hey, come meet some guys for dinner, and I'll buy you a dinner.
I'd love that, thank you.
Okay. And so we would all be sitting at the table when you come in. And
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing what I'm usually wearing, which is a Mandarin collar, Kung Fu style jacket and slippers and pants. And it's very nice silk, so it's kind of fancy looking, but it's also very Eastern. And
Okay, because
Eccentric?
I would scan the crowd originally, probably not catching you in that outfit, and then ask for Lieutenant Weld's table. And when I would be brought up, Weldy?
yes,
Weldy, is that you?
it is indeed me.
What has Civvy Street done to you, sir?
I have spent much time amongst the Orient, my good man. I've learned the ways of the Eastern secrets.
Oh, any secrets to share?
I would love to teach you the eightfold way of the mystical Buddha lotus.
Oh, you've lost me already, sir.
I
Good to see you again. Good to see you.
bow and do not shake your hand and then say namaste.
Okay.
Anyways, I'd like you to meet. I don't know if you remember. This was a good fellow, Mr. Byrne. He served in the war with me
Sir,
in my unit,
Sir?
shake your hand.
and a professor of mine from the old alma mater. It's Professor Wentworth.
Greetings, sir.
Greetings. Good evening, Professor.
You will note that I have very non-calloused hands.
And this is Captain Wilkerson, late of Her Majesty's something.
Did you invite
Oh, yeah. I would have... I mean,
Mr. Botticello
I'll show up a little late.
and Ms. McCree?
yes.
I would have purposely brought us here early because we're the upper class,
Okay.
and then have them arrive later.
Oh,
Perhaps.
all right.
So yeah, this setup works. This would have been purposely thought out by my
Okay.
character.
And we will be joined shortly by 2 more of my associates. They'll arrive within the hour, I imagine.
Yeah. So 20 minutes after you've been there, and you had a chance to sip some water, I guess. Some tea. I guess you're at a tea house. So.
Where are we again? Are we in the
The tea room,
Yes.
perhaps?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the tea room at the Ritz-Carlton.
Ritz-Carlton? Oh, okay. Good.
So,
I can
Mr.
get a good scotch.
No, you can't.
Oh, you can't order from the bar? Well, then I'm going to have
Not
to go
during
over to the bar.
Not during
Not
Prohibition.
during Prohibition.
Oh, that's right.
You'd have to go to the basement.
Never mind.
Not in the tea room. Now, if he
Yeah.
had said we're going to meet at the Ritz-Carlton with big giant...
Yeah,
that would
okay.
have been perfectly fine. But no, not in the tea room. No.
Soda water, then.
But of course you
Oh, yeah.
pour a little in from
Soda
your own
water,
personal
then.
flask. Yeah.
I loudly extol the virtues of Lapsang Souchong to anyone who will listen and start talking just endlessly about various teas that I've tried in my travels and their health benefits to things such as lymph nodes and circulation.
John, the more that the 3 of you listen, because you 2 aren't there yet, the more you realize he's a little full of crap. You don't know a lot, but you know enough to know that he's kind of full of crap.
As a good Englishman, he might know more about tea than I do.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm going to extol the virtues of tea every day, 4 o'clock.
You go by the numbers at the top,
Okay.
so that's 3 and
Number
4, and
3
then
is
5,
the
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are on the
Okay.
second page. Yeah.
I prefer, personally, Earl Grey, bergamot, delicious.
Perhaps. That's good.
It's close. So you guys spent 20 minutes, and then Mr. Botticello and Ms. McCree come in. Why don't we describe ourselves real quick? We've heard what Mr. Weld looks like. So, John, what does Mr. Byrne look like?
The typical hard-nosed detective of the time. A rumpled suit, dark tie that's a little looser at the collar. He would have the hat, but this is not the proper time to be wearing the hat. That has been checked with his overcoat. I in my mind, the who would play him in a movie is Clive Owen, with his American accent.
So, from Sin City.
Yeah, kind of Sin City. Yeah, that'd be a good tie-in.
And it's probably a slightly less rumpled suit, because you're going to a fancy, classy place.
I would have done the best I could.
So. All right, Mr. Wentworth. Professor Wentworth, what are you wearing?
Just typical tweed jacket, leather patches on the elbows.
Little bow tie.
Yeah, like very much the prototypical nerd of the 1920s. Glasses, not very kept hair. Obviously not somebody that goes outside very often or shoots guns or anything like that.
Okay. And Captain Wilkerson.
Captain Wilkerson this evening is in a fine suit, obviously on the upper end of the pay scale. Hair parted and combed with a very precise, meticulous part, Brill creamed down. Which Brill cream, we got a little dabble, do you? Absolutely fantastic. Gives you that wet look even when the hair is dry. Wonderful thing. Normally, I am seen in full-out safari gear, jodhpurs, pith helmet, 50 caliber, elephant gun type, just... even under the suit, there is, if for any of you those that might be detective-y, there are some lines in the suit that are not as smooth as they should be, belaying that there are perhaps, possibly, at least one, if not more, weapons underneath the suit, in the line of the suit, one on the left leg, one perhaps behind the back. I have a finely manicured hand. You can tell that someone has spent a lot of time on my nails, even though if you get close enough to them as I wave my hands and gesticulate, you can pick up top-end gun oil.
Okay. All right, and so in walk Mr. Botticello and Ms. McCree. Mr. Botticello, why don't you describe yourself as well?
Mr. Botticello appears to be in his early 40s. He is 5'11", looks very heavy set. He's leaning heavily on a walking stick that has a large natural node on the end of it, nodule. It appears as if he has attempted to dye it cherry way overzealously. It's really dark dyed. He's got black hair. He is balding.
What kind of clothes are you wearing?
He's wearing a brown pinstripe pants with a light brown shirt, dark pinstripe pants with light shirt. He typically wears a light brown trench coat also, which was probably checked at the door.
Okay. Ms. McCree?
Yeah, she walks in, she's in her mid-20s. She has long, dark hair, which she keeps under a hat. Very vivid green eyes. Kind of an athletic build. She's wearing a poofy white shirt, not high-end at all, just kind of something you go and pick up at any regular store. And I don't have jeans. What kind of pants do they have?
Pantaloons.
No.
Pantaloons.
Almost
like the canvas type,
Yep.
whatever pants.
So hard-working
Yeah.
pants. Okay.
Working pants. And,
Would you have
boots.
handed over your hat?
She's a lady, I don't think.
It's a cowboy
Yes.
hat.
Oh, well. Good point.
How lady is it?
So would you have handed
no,
over your hat?
I wouldn't
So
hand
she
over my
comes.
hat.
Mr. Botticello comes in. He's perfectly fine. He's
Do I have to check
comes
my
and
guns
sits-
at the door?
no, not if you don't show him.
Okay, then I have a
I mean,
duster
are you
on.
wearing your holsters?
If you
Yeah.
got them and flown them, yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Well,
It's okay. Keep going.
Why you should always concede.
then I guess I check my guns.
Why I
at
like
the
a
door.
shoulder holster.
Okay. So she comes in, and Mr. Botticello comes in. He's perfectly fine. He comes and finds you. He knows Mr. Byrne. Yes.
I was going to add as a side note, which I apologize
No,
for.
go ahead.
My character does also occupy the thunderous sideburns that I do in real life.
And Ms. McCree comes in shortly after, looking rather upset and holding onto her hat just a little tightly, like someone's going to come take it. And she finds her way over to the table as well. She doesn't smell.
Good character detail.
Yay!
In the
I don't smell like a girl.
1925s, showers are not an everyday thing. Showers are probably not a weekly thing for Miss McCree either. She's a little less likely to worry about that kind of thing, and it shows. She's not dirty, but she's just not pristine. She doesn't have her Burl cream on, so
Yeah. No.
Savages.
so. Do you want to introduce?
Yeah, I will. Gentlemen, my associates, Ichabod Botticelli and Miss Eva. I'm sorry, Miss.
Eva.
Yeah.
McCree.
That was just me having a blank. Miss Eva McCree.
Mr. Botticello
Botticello.
looks at you and says this.
Botticello.
Botticello.
Of Botticello and Byrne.
There's a big
investigations. There is. I apologize, Jesse.
These are the darndest things. People trying to take my hat. Why do they
Well,
want to take my hat?
You are inside. It's
You could remove it for propriety's sake.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you.
Well, welcome both of you to our august company. I'm Courtney Hathaway Weld of the Cambridge Welds. And I will bow to each of you in turn and say, Namaste, Namaste. Welcome, welcome.
I don't have to stay. What?
Don't worry about it.
So, as his professor, do you know where this came from?
No.
So,
Right.
you guys sit for a few minutes, discuss Elias. I assume that Mr. Weld catches you up on Elias, and as much at the table catches you up.
Yes, I would. So, do you want me to roleplay or not, or just? Yes. Yeah. Okay, so let me. So, I would suppose that I'm perhaps the one who is somewhat responsible for gathering you all here. Mr. Byrne, I know, is employed Mr. Botticello and Miss Eva over here. And what we are looking to do is help a acquaintance of mine, one Mr. Jackson Elias, who is involved with a missing person, something involving a Carlisle expedition and a...
Not that gentleman in the paper?
Has he been in the paper? I've not been reading the papers.
Carlisle? Yeah. He's in the paper.
Really?
Robert Carlyle.
I only read newspapers from Shanghai. The press is so much better there. I stroke my mustache.
Which Carlyle again?
Roger.
Hey, Carlisle.
Roger.
Roger Carlisle. Do you have the newspaper with you?
I have my I'll,
I
I produce
Now, these are newspapers are 5 to 6 years old. And not to say you
Okay.
can't have it. I'm just saying, like, these are
Yeah.
older newspapers. You were probably in Shanghai when this happened,
Oh,
so
okay.
you're very vaguely aware of it.
Oh, these are old newspapers, not like
Not
current.
current. No, Mr. Wilkerson, Captain. You're aware of the Carlisle family?
Oh, yes.
You're not familiar directly with them, but you've heard.
Oh,
you
of
know.
course.
And Roger would be someone that you would want to take along on one of these adventures of yours.
Absolutely. I was actually
But-
hoping to run into him.
He disappeared 5 years ago. And you're
Yes,
aware of that.
I know.
know.
Saddened.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay.
So,
Are we going to get to meet this Mr. Eliza?
Mr. Elias, we'll be meeting him.
Elias.
We have an appointment with him tomorrow.
Good. I need to remember to bring my books along with me.
Is this Elias Carlyle?
Elias Jackson. Elias
Jackson.
Jackson, who would like to engage us to do something involving the Carlisle individual peoples.
Just to make sure I've got the right
Well-
person. He is the author, right?
They're
Yes.
missing.
Hey, you've read his works.
Yes, I have. Quite a fan.
Did you like them?
Yes.
Me too. Very good.
What does he write?
Well, he's author of Sons of Death and Masters of the Black Arts and Skulls Along the River. Haven't you read that one?
No.
About the Amazonian death cults. It's quite good.
actually, you are familiar with Sons of Death. You are very familiar with the Sons of Death. It's about a thuggy cult.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that one. Yes. Sons of Death. Actually, yes. Fair enough.
Yes, I met the man in Mumbai, and he had quite some interesting stories to tell. And I'm sure that it will be an adventure for all of us, so I'm glad you could all come.
So we're going to meet with him tomorrow night then?
Yes, I thought it would be good if we acquainted all of ourselves with each other.
No, I'm not arguing that. I just,
I pour you some more tea.
Well, when you called me, I thought this was for dinner and catching up.
This is adventure, my good man, adventure!
Of what sort?
We don't know, that's part of the fun.
Well, I prefer more than that if I can get it.
Aren't
Call
you up
us.
for adventure?
Of course, madam.
Well then.
But I do prefer to know more. I was going to stop by and look you up, of course, being in New York. However, I did have some alternative plans moving west a bit. Perhaps some bison, some other hunts, you know.
Perhaps Miss Eva might know something about that. Are you a cowboy girl of some sort?
Yeah, apparently.
The hat?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Yes.
Have you
quite.
hunted bison?
Yes, I've hunted a lot.
Ah, you're both hunters. You might have a lot in common.
And I do not think so.
Oh,
Well, there it is. So,
that looks sad.
what sort of adventure?
Well, we don't know. We'll find out tomorrow night.
It's not that I'm not against adventure. I'm quite for it, actually. I just want to know what I can mount on a wall after I'm done.
Well, I do believe that, if I am not mistaken, the Carlisle expedition was involved in something in Egypt, yes?
Yes.
Yes. It was in Egypt.
So perhaps we might go to Egypt and hunt a Nile crocodile or some sort of water buffalo.
They don't have the buffalo over there, and I already have 2 crocodiles. I'm quite wondering where the trip would take us beyond that.
The whole world is our oyster. It could be anywhere. That's the fun of it, don't you see?
Yes, but this is why I came across the pond to you, or at least to here. It was not
How
necessarily
about-
to go directly back.
How about this? I myself, as you know, am a man of no small means myself. I know many other people who have their own means, such as they do. Mr. Jackson Elias works for Jonah Kensington, who's the publisher of Prospero Press, which is but a small piece of his business. And not only after I engage in this activity and have some fun would I be inclined to join you in a safari, but I could put you in touch with him, who could put you in touch with many people in the New York society who would probably also like to go on a safari of some sort and might want to hire you out.
How about this, old boy?
This will introduce you to many people.
How about this, old boy? I'll give you your evening to meet with this Mr. Jackson if you promise me an afternoon one day this week that we will wear some more normal clothing and you and I will go to the range together.
But these are normal clothes.
Well, I meant more civilized type clothing.
The
More
civilization-
Western clothing, you see.
Civilization,
Proper clothing, as it were.
the civilization in China goes back 5,000 years.
I'm sure it does,
Excuse me, it does look like you're in your pajamas.
but it doesn't control as much of the earth as the
I kind of
proper civilizations, you know?
make a sniffing in your general direction.
Ian, you seem to have some peculiar friends.
So perhaps,
There's
not
one
exactly like we wore in the
for you.
Corps, no,
Just
but
one
something a
for
little
you.
more civilized for the range, you see. We'll
I
catch
will
up
wear a
on
hunting
all...
jacket if you come with me tomorrow night.
He's wearing a jacket with his pajamas. It will be nice.
Fair enough, done.
Alright. And madam, once I show you the free-forming freedom of flow and motion that these allow you, you'd be quite impressed. They go, ha, and make some...
Yes, but where does the ammunition
I'm sure.
go?
This is my ammunition now.
So,
I wave my arms and go, ha ha ha!
but if you're over there and I'm over here and I
Well,
draw...
just jump into your face.
Not quite. Well,
I've learned the way of the supreme ultimate fist. Tai Chuan Tree. Which I butcher. Anyone who speaks Mandarin.
certainly. And I'm asking for another glass of soda water.
Yeah, they bring along.
You're quiet.
Yes.
So you guys spend probably an hour there. They bring you some small sandwiches, which you two are both very familiar with.
Oh, yes.
The rest of you think, where's the food?
Oh, finger sandwiches.
You know, you're
Delicious.
probably slightly familiar with it, but the three investigators look at the tiny little sandwiches and wonder where the food is.
Cucumber.
This is not food, but you're happy to eat.
These are delicious.
You end your meeting and kind of break apart. Mr. Weld, you head back to your room where a message is waiting for you. That you will be called precisely at 8 with instructions. And it's from Elias.
Okay.
The rest of you retire for the evening to your various setups.
You've got a room here, Eve.
I would imagine I have a room here as well.
Hotel here,
Here
tonight.
or
In here?
just
Yeah.
short
Upstairs.
distance away
Yeah.
at
Waldorf?
at the Waldorf.
I'll do the Waldorf.
All by
'Cause,
myself?
you know,
Well, I mean, it's
Because I don't want to slum.
the lap of luxury. All that.
yeah, the room that you stay that he shows you to is bigger than like your room and like the 3 other rooms that you stay in normally.
That's the benefits of working for Courtney.
Precisely at 8 p.m., your phone rings. But Mr. Weld,
Hello.
Jackson here. I would like to meet with you tomorrow, if that would be possible.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow at 8 p.m. at the Chelsea Hotel,
Yes.
room 410.
Fantastic. We'll be there.
Okay. You have assembled some of your associates, correct?
The finest.
Excellent. Excellent. So, I will see you then. And he hangs up the phone. He seems a little more rushed than normal.
Mm-hmm.
And, room 410, 8 p.m. Alright, we're going to take a quick pause to let everyone to digest the news stories, and then we'll come right back. All right. Now that everybody's had a chance to read over and investigate the information presented, you guys didn't miss anything except a bunch of quiet reading.
Really?
Yes.
You all
It
arrive
was
at
But
the...
before we go,
Yes.
during the night,
Sure.
I would like to research the Nandi tribesmen and the Kikuyu tribesmen.
Who?
The tribesmen that blamed the Nandi for the murders, the massacre,
okay.
and the tribe that actually got blamed for the massacre. I would like to consult my books upon the occult to see
You don't
if the
know
Kikuyu...
much about them.
Nothing?
I mean, there's some writings about the Nandi tribe, but it's vague, and a lot of Western writing kind of groups them all together. They're a bunch of African tribes.
Okay.
They're all the
They're a
same.
bunch of darkies.
Yeah, like that. Oh,
They're a bunch of donkeys.
thanks for reminding me. I need to put that disclaimer in at the beginning.
So, just to clarify, you are not going
1925.
to try to kill me in my sleep?
No.
Smart man.
Okay. So, you guys arrive at the Chelsea Hotel, 8 p.m. on January 15th, and head to room 410. Who is leading the charge? Is that you, Mr. Weld? Okay.
Absolutely.
You knock on the door. Is that correct?
Knock, knock, knock.
There's no answer.
Yeah.
Did you do
I look back at everyone else.
Knock again.
Well, it's your adventure, sir.
So sad.
I knock again.
There's no answer. Would anyone like to give me a listen check?
Yeah, why not?
Yes.
Do I have a listen? I don't have listen.
You do.
I
Still
do
goes
not.
off of that
And
number.
you have to roll under?
Yes.
Yeah.
Roll under.
Can you tie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone leans in, and I can't hear anything for
Well,
all
you
the
got it right
listening.
on the money.
Got it right on the money.
Okay, so anybody that got under their listen, let me know.
I did.
Go, Justin.
I did.
You heard
Good for something?
You hear some scuffling, like people quickly moving inside.
There's scuffling inside, like people are quickly moving.
I kicked the door open.
I punch the door.
Give me. Okay, so are the both of you going to work together? And this is a sincere question.
Yes.
To open the door, roughly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so you'll
I
add
draw
yours.
my gun.
Add your strengths together, and give me that number.
Can I use my martial arts or
No.
punch? Because I'm trying to punch the
Nope,
door.
this is a resistance.
Yeah, whatever. So what are we doing?
Whatever.
I'm 11. We're adding our strengths
Yep.
together? I'm 11.
9.
So we're at 20.
So, which one of you will be rolling?
What are we rolling?
You'll be rolling percentage, and I will tell you the number that you're rolling under. But I need to know which one you're.
I guess it'll be me.
Did I have an opportunity to bring a cricket ball?
I guess if you have one in your room.
Just don't say. Just say no.
No.
Is this door
You
big
need
enough?
to roll 25 or under.
Nope.
Okay.
Hang on.
So
Let me try to.
How
help you.
badly did you fail?
I got a 48, so almost.
It's not that
What are we
bad.
trying to do?
You two shoulder your way into the door, and you hear it kind of thund, but not give. You want to try it again?
Let me help you.
I'm just going to reach over and try the handle.
Oh, it's locked.
That'd be awesome.
I'm gonna walk up to it and lean into it also real
The
hard.
three of you can do it, but nobody else can help. So all three are going to do it.
Yes.
I draw my weldy.
I back away.
So
The hand cannon.
What's your
I'm
strength?
drawing
14.
Smith and
So
Wesson.
you're at a 34 now. Hold on. Oh, you know what? That's fine. Roll again. Good.
We've decided we're taking this door down, gentlemen.
On
You got
Took
an
it
8.
down. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you three just and the door flings open. Everyone needs to give me a spot. I assume, except for the professor who's not going in, right?
Yeah, I was like, if you really want me to roll, I
Is
will.
this a spot hidden?
Spot hidden, yes.
I have to get under 65.
Yes, you do.
Oh,
3?
Yes. So that
Made
might make
it.
a difference.
Is it the power of Kung Fu discerning?
I can look at things, alright. You got
Still
eyeballs
have
and
two
stuff.
And I
eyes.
can listen. Between the two of us, we make a competent
We
person.
should ride around each other's shoulders.
Did anyone
You don't
succeed
go
on
like
their
this.
spot? You.
I got 3.
Oh yeah. You see two men dressed. They are dark men, probably African. They are dressed in some sort of robes, and they're going out the window down the fire escape.
I will leap at them.
Okay, it's a long leap, but you
Yes.
can try.
I will try.
You have a jump.
Not a good one.
Okay. Well, you can give me a jump.
Oh, just missed a 29.
Okay. How much did you miss it by?
4.
Okay. You leap and get close to the window as they start down the fire escape. The rest of you, because you're real focused, notice blood on the floor and papers scattered everywhere, and a body on the bed.
Oh crap! They killed him. He's never going to sign my book now.
There's also a hat on the like on the bed post that has a press card in it. Probably what Elias would wear in his hat.
Hey, Mr. Weld, is
I'm
this your
with you.
friend?
I'm going to run towards the window.
Okay.
Weldy, you missed them.
So you're over by the window, and now you notice the bed and the blood, and you're kind of standing in it.
Ah!
You're running over to the window?
I'll be holding my stick anymore.
Okay. They're
Club
half
manner
down the
of
fire
running.
escape.
I'm charging down the fire escape. How high are we up?
Your 4th floor.
I'm not joking. I'm going to break that
Hey, Matt,
as quickly as I can.
when I enter the room, while they're doing all this, I'm going to go to him to use medicine to check on him.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me.
I'm going to step out onto the fire escape nonchalantly.
Okay, with a pistol.
No,
Okay.
I've put the pistol away at this point.
Nope.
I still
What'd you
have
go
my
ahead?
I failed by 19.
He's dead, Jim. he's still dead, whether you got it or not.
He failed.
And
He's
if you
alive,
had to,
clearly.
if you had to guess,
I feel my pulse.
it's the blood everywhere that killed him.
I remove a string with 3 balls attached to the end of it.
All right, so we are now entering combat. Since I was gonna let
I'm now
Madison
hiding
check
under the
first.
bed.
All right, so in order of dexterity is how we go. So
I got 13.
And you're under the bed.
10.
10.
If you hand me a gun, he's probably be like, look, they're over there.
Okay.
Better dex than mine.
John
9.
9.
9.
13.
13. Scott
Suck. 10. Jeez.
and Shirley.
15.
Yeah, there you are. Okay, Shirley, you go first.
What am I doing?
There's a dead body, and 2 men just went out of the fire escape. What are you doing?
Standing there waiting for everybody to figure out what's going on.
So are you going to? You're not going to pursue the men.
Why would I?
It's okay. That's fine. George.
Race down the fire escape as much as I can.
Okay. So before you can get onto the fire escape to start heading down, Mr. Weld is right in front of you. The 2 men get to the ladder that slides down. It's already down, and start climbing down it. You're probably 3 or 4 seconds behind them, but enough that they've got a good start on you. Scott.
I'm waiting for them to make their way clear of the fire escape so that I might throw the bolo I have begun swinging.
You're right behind Mr. Weld. And John, what are you doing?
I searched the room for more people.
Give me spot hidden.
17, so that's pretty good.
Okay. You look around. There's not a whole lot of places for anyone else to hide. Nobody else really looked. There's a bathroom. Doors open.
Yeah.
The shower is empty.
Closet,
the closet
arm
is
water.
empty. But there is paper scattered everywhere, and there's some stuff that's catching your eye.
Well, I'm mostly worried about getting stabbed.
Well, that's fine.
So,
but you're starting to see things that these people may have been searching for.
I'm going to be rifling through his pockets and whatnot.
Okay, that's fine.
Loot the corpse.
Yeah, basically.
So, Shirley, they're kind of going through the body and looking around and making sure everything's safe. What are you doing?
I notice what he's doing, so I start looking at the papers, and I keep an eye on the door.
Okay. The first thing you find is a small business card. It says the Penhue Foundation. Number 12. Hold on. I'll get it to you here in a second. As soon as I find it, because these are... Oh, there it is.
One of the darkies is going down.
There you go. George, you keep running. You're probably at the top of the ladder. If you jump down, you'll catch up to them. Would you like to try?
Yeah, can I jump down and basically try and do a falling punch onto one of them?
You can attempt that,
Using my-
sure.
Yes.
It will depend on your jump, I will warn you. If you don't succeed, it's not going to work.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, go ahead and try.
I yell, "Way of the scrambling monkey," as I drop down the ladder, trying to...
Okay, roll your jump for me. I know it.
I shake my head.
Oh yeah, that's not good. No, I missed.
I shake my head as you.
As you jump and fail, you take 5 points of damage as you land a little wrong.
Nice.
You do manage to stumble. You do manage to stumble into them a little bit and knock one of them a little off as he's running. You don't knock him down. They continue to run. They're out in the open. So Scott, roll your throw, or I believe that's under throw, isn't it?
No,
Or is
it's
that
under bolo.
Okay, roll it.
I've got a 60, so I rolled a 48.
Okay, you're attempting to tie up their legs, I assume.
Tango.
Okay, you get one of them right in the legs, and
And he goes down.
And as he falls, I believe they carry clubs. Hold on. Yes, a large club with some like spikes coming out of it tumbles out of his hand into the street. And from where you're at, even where you're at, you can see blood all over it.
Cowgirl!
The other one keeps going, and Justin. You gonna try to
He
jump too?
clearly did such a good job.
Rope-
I will try to
rope
jump.
the
and
darky.
Roll jump.
Yes!
Roll jump.
Death from above is the best way.
Hey!
11 under
Hey!
25.
Okay, you land. You're just a tiny bit behind them right now.
Am I within striking range?
Yeah, sure.
Then I will strike.
Roll it.
Skill is successful.
Put a check in the box.
Yeah,
Okay.
65%.
So
Roll your
Alright,
damage.
alright.
Successfully use them.
11.
Oh, he goes down. As he goes down, you notice, and you are, as you're holding your ankle, you kind of notice a car across the street turns on and drives away.
Can I try and get a license plate number?
You can roll a spot hidden. You can
Oh,
also
okay.
roll one. The rest of you are a little too far away.
Yes, 12.
12.
I meet.
Okay, so you both notice parts of it. You realize that it's New York, and you get 1 MB, and that's about it. It's 6 digits, but you only got 3 of them. So
No chance we got different 3 ones?
No.
Okay.
So you have a gentleman who's unconscious and bleeding a little bit from his head because you hit him hard enough. George, your ankle is a little twisted. It's a little rough for you to walk right now.
Yep.
Did he land on his wrist? Did
No,
he land on
he
his
landed
He
on
was
his
trying to dive
Right,
punch.
right, but he had to jump first before he could punch.
Oh, so he slipped and then fell.
Yeah. So if someone would like to roll first aid, including
Yes,
yourself.
I will attempt to first aid you.
Okay.
Well, once
Your
he
ankles
gets
appear to
back
be
up
hurt.
here,
Let me
right?
see that
No,
real
they
quick.
both went
I'm in
down.
quite a large amount of pain, sir.
Let me just snap that back.
So we have
Thank
three.
you.
First aid is down here.
Yes, I made it.
George, you may roll a D3.
Way of the Withering Warrior, I see.
Okay.
Well, dear, I don't think
So
you've
you
traded
heal,
up.
You heal back whatever you rolled.
2.
2. Okay.
Did we get both of them? One
Yeah.
bolo and
One
one
is probably going to bleed out here shortly. The other one is completely conscious and cursing at you in some sort of
In what language?
The one trauma-
African language that you don't pick up. Like
Okay.
you know it's African, but
Right.
meh.
Northern African, Southern African, anything?
Northern.
Northern? Ah.
I will
worst
also attempt
kind.
first aid upon the guy who I beamed so he doesn't
Okay, go
die.
ahead.
Yeah, he's dead. 80.
You go to
I will backstop him.
well.
Here,
you
I
go-
will-
You're upstairs.
I want me to
You're
go
upstairs in the
upstairs.
room, under the bed.
So as you're like
Looting the
pushing,
body.
Yeah.
the more you push, the squishier it gets, and the
You're
less
like, stick your
likely-
thumb in it!
This is clearly working. I must press harder.
I'm stopping the blood.
So
Yeah.
you
Stop the blood right there.
Fire shots fired.
No shots fired.
What are you guys doing?
Well, he
Cowgirl,
called me.
rope the darky.
He called me, so I was.
You gonna head on down the?
Yeah, I head down the.
Okay.
I turned to the professor. Don't touch anything. I'm going to go talk to the house dick.
Okay.
Cowgirl, rope the
So
darky.
the guy is on the ground. She's going down. She's going down.
Anything
And
else?
he's kind of struggling towards that.
Did you hear what I said?
Club.
Yes, sir.
Wait till it gets just within reach and kick it out of the way a little bit further.
Yeah. She's coming down with a. She's like pulling
Okay.
rope out of
Pulling rope
God knows where,
on the side.
and she's
Out of
about
the fish
to.
market.
Well,
Pick up his club.
Actually,
Actually, I'm not going to pick up
wasn't
his
it?
club because that would be evidence, and I'm going to leave it where it lies. Yes.
you would know
the
that.
gentleman on the ground is not going to cooperate with you tying him up.
Well, I
Here,
thought
this will
time
help him.
anyway.
This will help him cooperate. Pow,
Are you going to hit him?
softly, ish.
You either hit him or you don't.
There is no strike to subdue.
You can't thump him.
Oh, I can thump him.
Just like thump.
Would either one of you like to try to intimidate him?
Well, I have rope. 10%.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
Is there an
I need
intimidate
to
check?
tie him.
There's not.
There is not.
Hog
However, you could roll your. Wow, there is no intimidation skill whatsoever. That is absolutely wonderful.
Well,
Persuade.
wouldn't that be a...
You could persuade him.
Yeah,
Fast
so
talk?
I was about to persuade
You
you.
persuade her fast talk.
Can we attempt to work together
Yes,
on this?
like she pulls her gun and points it at him.
Yeah.
I was just going to say,
I
I'll
was
draw
at
my
more points
Welby
about-
and persuade him from
So
the...
you're down. You're going to go down.
No, I was just going to stand there and field command.
Well, you're up. Yeah, you're 4 stories up. So your well be up 4 stories isn't going to. To a guy face down on the ground isn't going to be that scary.
Unless I pull
Really?
the trigger.
What if they roll him over? And
I will
point
just
out the
casually
marks?
tap my club upon the back of his head.
Okay. He
Also.
kind of stops just a little bit. But go ahead and roll it.
It's not going to matter. Hey, that's a 10.
Yeah, there you go. So you get him to sit still for just long enough. You tie him up. I'm not even going to make you roll. It's not a big deal. And you two have them hogtied. Johnny, you went down to the house, Dick?
Yeah. I'm sure somebody heard us crash through the door.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
okay.
And
Is there
in fact,
any
as you're
chance
going towards
somebody,
the elevator opens and a man holding a gun comes out.
Any chance I already know him from previous...
No.
We're in my hometown.
Yeah, no.
All right.
You go to the nice hotels often?
I don't know.
No. So
I'll attempt to persuade him by... what was it, persuade that I want to use?
Persuader fast enough.
Yeah, I'm comparing it with even. So yeah, I will present my badge and tell him that we had heard scuffling inside the room. There was an accident. It appears the patron who was staying in that room has been murdered.
you pulled your badge to give me a credit rating.
Credit rating?
Credit rating.
Not persuade.
No.
But I'm an official.
And now you have to convince him that badge is real. Then you can persuade him.
All right.
15%.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nope.
You can still persuade him. So go ahead and try that.
Okay. Yeah, that one.
That one, okay.
So mechanics-wise,
he looks at your badge, and it's clear that he doesn't believe that you're actually a PI, or that you're a good PI. Because there are PIs, big air quotes, that work for the mob, and then there are PIs that are actually legitimate.
Okay.
So just because you have a badge doesn't mean anything to him immediately.
do you have him hogtied?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Credit rating.
I'm going to go
You're asking,
back in the window.
You're asking about credit rating for mechanics?
I was going to say, yeah, the first credit rating roll, does that modify the persuade?
Yes, it would have.
Okay.
But so you didn't get a bonus.
Okay.
And now he's wondering if maybe you did the hit or you were part of the hit, but you've talked him out of that.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I'm
yeah.
I go back
talking
inside.
through like
Yeah.
we have,
So you're coming back inside and putting your
Holster.
gun away.
Yep.
The guy,
Mr. Byrne told me not to
brings the the house private eye in, and he takes a look around, looks at everything, sees
Mr.
you.
Byrne, who is this
I will
gentleman?
introduce myself.
Oh,
Mr. Igbot, I think he'll be
give me a roll.
This is-
Credit rating.
I'll bring him on up.
Wow, 99. No.
So yes, so far we're doing stellar.
Tie this other guy up.
I
don't think he's
didn't
going
get a
anywhere.
name yet for the.
Johnson.
And I ask him, Mr. Byrne, who is this gentleman?
This is the house detective, Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, Captain Reginald Winthrop Wilkerson III. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Give me a credit rating roll.
Oh, missed it.
Okay. What are you gentlemen doing?
We were to have an appointment with Mr. Jackson Elias, who I believe.
How do you know Mr. Elias?
Well, we
Would
don't
you-
know him yet.
Is he still on the bed?
Oh yeah.
That would be probably the dead man on the bed.
How do you know Mr. Elias?
Well,
See how I asked the question
we were
quite
hired-
straight. And
Sir, we were.
I imagined he was the dead man. I haven't met him yet. The two darkies were running out of the window, one of which we've detained downstairs.
Good job. But anyway, there's a. We are associates of Mr. Courtney Hathaway Weld, who is coming back up the fire escape.
no,
now.
back.
Oh, you're not.
Weldy.
Oh.
I'm
Yes.
going to go ahead.
Good chap from the war. He's gone a little bit Asian.
Start walking.
Well,
Even-
In the head.
Either way,
Not quite
either way,
Papa.
the point is, we were here to meet him for the first time. We heard commotion within the room.
He moves over to he's listening, but
Yes.
not. And he picks up the phone, and then he pushes the button. Get the police.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Oh no, he says that into the phone and then hangs
Yeah,
the
no,
phone
no,
back
no.
up. And it's 5 or 10 minutes later, he clearly quits listening. If you make any move to leave the room, out the window, or the door, he pulls a gun. But otherwise, he just stands there and waits.
What about all of us that are climbing
He's
back
not
in the
aware of you
window?
yet.
Do we
Are you
have?
climbing? Are you two climbing
I'm
back?
climbing up with the guy slung over.
Are you
my
going
shoulder.
back into the front door and up the
Carrying two
elevator?
guys.
Captain
That's
Kane
what we're doing.
climbs up. So do you have a limp as you're climbing up? I'm just going to look
No.
out the window.
I don't have a limp.
Okay.
No,
Actually, you saw him jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He clearly has no limp.
All right, just
He
checking.
landed and beamed somebody upside the head, and that guy just dropped. You do know that club is kind of dangerous.
It's also a deeper purpler color today than it was yesterday.
I gathered.
So,
I want to start
these
looking at the papers.
Mr. Botticello and Miss McCree climb up the ladder. Mr. Weld goes around to the front door, takes the elevator up. As you're starting to rifle through, the Johnson said, let's just leave that to the real police. How about that?
Real police. He's an
I just
investigator.
keep going.
I pop in the door and I say,
Well, they.
You hear a click of a hammer being pulled back. Let's leave that for the real police.
Are you real police, sir?
I am in this house. Which is typical for the 1920s, so...
Do you need the weapon, sir?
I do.
"Who's this?"
Mr.
Hello.
I am Detective Johnson. And you
Oh, Courtney Hathaway Weld of the Cambridge Wells.
are? Go ahead and roll your credit rating.
Yeah, let's... Made it.
Oh, Mr. Weld! Oh, I thought you were staying over at the Ritz-Carlton. And
I
you
was!
hear the hammer click off.
I gotta
I
go back to work.
look totally crestfallen as I turn towards the bed. We were meeting my friend, who is...
And then Mr. Elias seems to have met a most horrible fate.
Oh,
This
then
is- and it's about this time that you hear the clanging stop as you come to the window and then realize you can't get through the window carrying a body, so you kind of just flop him down outside.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'll go. If you can't make it through, I'll go assist.
Okay,
when-
you bring the body in the window and you come in and
This is
Mr.
the conscious one? Or
Yes,
the
the
unconscious?
conscious
The
one.
dead one's still down
The
there.
other one's dead.
I don't think he's moving anymore.
By conscious, you mean alive.
Yes.
So
This isn't the guy we were supposed to meet, is it?
Good show, Botticello.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
This is my friend, but...
Ooh, have you actually looked at him? I mean, is this the guy?
It is the guy, I assume, yeah.
yes, it very much is the guy.
I look kind of sad, but then I kind of perk up a little bit. Well, he's merely passed on to the next life. And I look cheery.
Oh, Mr. Weld.
So,
Well, that's
So,
$70.
it seems that this is a good place to stop for a moment. We thank you guys for listening. As always, you can get a hold of us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com for any thoughts you have on the podcast. We encourage you to go over to iTunes, do any kind of rating you want. We prefer 5 stars, but we'll take what you believe in. Write us something up. We would appreciate it. You can find me at Quiet. Shirley is at Ned70. Johnny is at Fool's Mask. Justin is at J_Kimmett. George is at The Chimples. And Scott is at Big Daddy T _. Right?
Yep.
And Jason doesn't believe in Twitter because he's a communist. So
He's the
we
type
wanna-
of commie we like, though.
we want to thank everybody for coming out, and we'll be back next week with the next part of this long, long adventure. Thank you.